Today I'm testing one of Australia's favourite utes. This is the 2020 Mitsubishi Triton. Over the years, Mitsubishi has been a brand that's been relied on by Australians throughout the entire country. It's been a brand that Australians trust over the years, and it's continued to evolve, and the cars have gotten better and better. And none can be more true than the Mitsubishi Triton. Well, Mitsubishi in Australia has been quite the staple brand for quite a long time, and it's been a brand that Australians have learnt to trust over the years for both reliability and value for money. Now, you don't have to be the sharpest tool in the shed to pretty much see straight away that the Triton is quite the neat little package. Now, the current model Triton has had a facelift in the last couple of years, and it's a welcome facelift actually, because when you've got some of the other brands that are in this model category quite conservative in their looks, Mitsubishi have actually gone for a much more modern and edgy image. And you know what? I think it works. And like all 4x4s in its category, the Triton sits high above the road in quite a dominating stance. It's ready to tackle those 4x4 challenges that the Australian terrain has to offer. The styling of the Triton is a complete contrast to the competition, and it's the straight lines and angles that sets this design apart from the rest. Love it or loathe it, it takes guts to go against the norm in the ute category, and that's what Mitsubishi have done right here. The Triton has a maximum payload of 855 kilos, and with a rear towing capacity of 3100 kilos, it's not the biggest towing capacity out there, but I have a feeling it's more than enough to accommodate for the Triton's target market. And in order to do this, the Triton sports a 2.4 litre turbo diesel underneath the hood, and it punches out 133 kilowatts at 3,500 RPM with 430 Newton meters of torque at 2,500 RPM. And considering this is one of the top 3 selling utes in its category in Australia, Mitsubishi have obviously done their homework and positioned themselves very well in terms of the specs of the Triton. And for all you tradies out there that like to know all the details and specs of the utes, do not worry. It still has the most important feature of all: your cup holders for your tea and bicky. But like most pickups, there are a couple of problems with this car. Firstly, while this Triton is pretty new compared to previous model and had a welcome upgrade for the 2019 model, I can't help but think that the interior of this car is still a little bit dated when it comes to the styling compared to some other brands. Considering the exterior has such an edgy image, it's a bit disappointing that the styling hasn't carried over into the interior. And this is where Mitsubishi had the opportunity to really stand out from the competition. With an ultra-modern design both in and out, it could have been a real game changer. The interior styling is very conservative yet comfortable, with full leather interior and plenty of space for you and the family. It's packed with a bundle of safety tech, and with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, you're all sorted to create that ultimate driving playlist for your on and off-road adventures.
The second issue, if you can call it an issue, is that this car doesn't have as much tech as some of the other brands. Now, the way I look at this, I actually think Mitsubishi have been quite smart in this area, because I think that the Triton actually has a balance. It's not overloaded with tech unnecessarily for the type of car that it is. It doesn't have a ridiculous amount of luxury refinements, because after all, it is a workhorse. It's meant to be on the tools. It's meant to be worked hard, play hard, which means it's going to get belted around a lot by family, by work. So this is where Mitsubishi, I think, have been very strategic, and they've equipped the Triton with the right amount of tech, the right amount of luxury refinements in here to be able to undercut a lot of other utes in its category. Now, I think that's quite clever. So here's the thing. While the Triton does need probably a slight upgrade in terms of styling on the interior, the exterior is edgy and modern. The interior is actually very, very comfortable. It rides very, very well compared to some of the other models. It's very smooth compared to some of the bouncy rear ends on utes that you do tend to get sometimes. And considering this is a car that's going to get pretty much used and abused, it's going to get belted around by work, belted around by a family, it's going to go off-road, it's an on-road car, it's really going to be put through its paces in its working life. Why would you want to pay more unnecessarily for a car in this category? For me, that's a no-brainer. Getting into the Triton, I've actually been very, very surprised with how smooth the ride is in this car. Compared to some of the other utes that I've actually tested in this category, this has the smoothest ride so far, which is very, very impressive, especially if you're going to use it for a combination of work and family life at the same time. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the Triton. It deserves to be up within the top 3 selling utes in its category in Australia. So if you're looking for a ute that's pretty robust, hard-wearing, but still comfortable enough to have the family to get them through everyday life, then you seriously need to check out the Mitsubishi Triton.